he's made his mark as one of the greatest boxers of all time.
But it's away from the ring that Tyson Fury has had to face his toughest fight yet.
Having been plagued by mental health issues for much of his life, today Tyson is opening up about his struggles in a new book.
And he joins us now, and it's lovely to have you here.
Really
We've been
is.
really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Lovely to be on the show.
Yeah, there's a 200-year bloodline of bare-knuckle fighters in your genes. So it was inevitable, I suppose, that you were going to start boxing. But your father, who was a boxer,
Yes.
tried to put you off.
He did. It was. He didn't encourage me to box at all. He tried to discourage me, if anything. And it was one of those things where I just wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to be a boxer. I was brought up in the gym. I was a little gym rat, really, because I used to go with my dad when he used to box, and I was always around it. So I was always in that environment, but he didn't want me to box. He wanted me to do something different with my life and not go down the same route as he did. Because a lot of our family members have all, I'm not going to say wasted their time with boxing and fighting and all that sort of stuff, but no one ever took it to the height that I've taken it to.
Well, he found out the hard way how good you were at boxing, and this was when you were 14. And
That's correct, yeah.
You sort of said to him, well, you weren't that good, Dad.
That's exactly true, and he told me that, OK, he said, I want you to punch me in the ribs. I was like, I'm not going to punch you, Dad, I'm not hitting you. He's like, no, I insist. I was like, I'm not doing it. He was like, I insist. So I ended up punching him in the ribs and broke 3 ribs.
Oh, my God.
Your dad's over there now, actually, watching. All right, Dad?
Yeah.
It changed when you were you know, sort of in your teens. The first fight as I love this story. That you've got your first fight as an amateur, and you rock up, and your opponent sees you and is never seen again, and actually does a runner.
Yeah.
Because you are, you know, huge. You are.
I was huge then. Even at 15, I was 6'6" inches tall and weighing about 16 stone.
Yeah. So we don't know who that was. We don't know whatever happened to him. But what about the name Duncan Lee?
Yeah, that was my first ever amateur boxing contest.
Was
So
it?
how old were you then?
16.
Do you ever hear from him?
I've never heard from him, no, but I've seen some of his social media stuff that he's done.
Right.
You know, he's posted that video, Blast from the Past. That's how the footage has come up there.
He's sent you a message.
Hi Tyson, I'm not sure if you remember me, my name is Duncan Lee. I was your first ever opponent on the 17th of March 2005 at RAF Witton. I remember the fight very well. Obviously on your medical form at the time it said 6'4". You were nicknamed the Human Beanpole. Of course you turned up the height that you are, which was much taller than what it said on there, so you must have had a growth spurt overnight. I was really bowled over when, you know, a few years ago when my dad said you were becoming the world heavyweight champion. It was just a really happy coincidence. We still have the fight on video. And I'm pleased we have that as a keepsake. I went on to become a music teacher, mainly a drummer. So, you know, if you want a drum lesson or want to come and record your voice at our studio, please do. I'm also still training. So if you ever want to have a spar buddy or a retirement fight, then I'm here too. Congratulations on everything you've achieved so far, and keep it up. It's amazing to watch.
That's nice, isn't it?
Very kind of him, yeah.
Very kind.
All the best to him and good luck in the future, whatever he does as well.
The book is filled with brilliant stories, and one of the ones that I loved was, this was again very early in your career. You were invited to help Klitschko train ahead of one of his upcoming fights, and you already had your eyes on the prize of becoming that heavyweight champion. So there was a moment in a sauna. Could you just explain what happened?
Yes, I can. I think I was about 21 years old, and I got invited to go to Klitschko's training camp in Austria, as I was training with Emmanuel Stewart then. And I remember everyone saying, oh, Vladimir likes to get everybody in the sauna and outdo them, like mental mind games. All his sparring
stay there
partners.
the longest.
Yeah, sort of like that. The conventional style you might see in a leisure centre, it was more overwhelming than all that.
Yeah.
So we're all in there, it's full. And me knowing what's going on already before I enter, that it's going to be a competition, and everyone starts popping off around us going out. And he's looking at me and I'm looking back at him and I'm thinking, I hope he gets out soon because I'm going to pass out. I was in there, it was really the hottest sauna I've ever been in. And he gets up and he's waving this towel in front of it. And the heat is phenomenal. And I'm thinking, I'm definitely going to pass out. But I thought, I'm not getting out because I'm not letting this guy beat me, because I'm going to have to fight him sooner or later. And I want to prove to him that I'm mentally strong and he's not going to beat me at whatever he does. So 20 minutes goes by and he's looking at me. I'm thinking, oh, get out, please. And he gets up and he turns the clock round. So he ends up doing 40 minutes in this heated sauna. It got that long where I was counting to like 10, 6 times for a minute. That's how I was getting through it. And it was ridiculous. And in the end, he got up and he walked off, and I thought to myself,
Got him.
that's a mental victory. But I thought, I can't get out right now. I've got to stay in a bit longer.
Oh my God.
So I ended up staying, and I walked out the sauna door, and I nearly passed out. It was
not
one of the
surprised.
hardest things I ever did, but that was the date I beat Vladimir Klitschko mentally.
Yes.
Yes.
And walking into the fight years later,
7 years later.
he was already beaten.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he knew he couldn't defeat
Oh,
me.
wow.
With him, in that sauna, you wanted to prove that you were mentally stronger than him.
Yeah.
But obviously, throughout, even as a small child, you woke up hallucinations and
Yeah.
the demons came and the anxiety and the depression. At first, you didn't recognise what it was. But what is incredible, I mean, it builds up and builds up. Boxing is a great diversion.
Yes.
But having become world champion,
Yeah.
that night, that glorious night,
Yeah.
you go back to your dressing room and within minutes, it has covered you in its dark cloud.
That's correct. And people would think that it would be impossible to achieve your dreams, like to be a little child and think you want to be heavyweight champion and to follow that path all the way to becoming heavyweight champion. That'd be a fulfilled dream. But for me, it was a disaster, because even going into that fight, I was really mentally unwell, and I was quite afraid of winning, because I knew that I wouldn't have a goal anymore. And I knew that I'd come crashing down, because it was only a matter of time where I was bottling this depression up and all the mental health problems over the years, putting it to the back of my mind because I had to concentrate on the goal in hand. But when I didn't have that goal anymore, I realised that a massive dark cloud was about to approach, and it did. And it was very evident to see, even in the press conference after the fight, I was very down and subdued, when everybody would have been ecstatic and like over the moon for what they just achieved.
Well, you walked away from the sport that you loved. I mean, drink, cocaine followed, your kids, your wife. I mean, there was nothing there that was bringing you back into this world somehow. And life and death, you couldn't see a difference, and you did. There was that moment where you get in your car, your Ferrari, and you drive, and you are with the aim of taking your own life.
That's correct. And I've had suicidal thoughts since around about 2012. I'd had bouts of depression, but never as severe as until 12. And then I started thinking about death and thinking about wanting to die and killing myself and how I'd do it. I often thought about that. But then I got back on track to win the world title. And after this second bout of deep depression, I was at a point of, I really didn't want to live anymore, and I really didn't care about anything or anybody. And even the things that I hold so close to me and the things that I adhere to in my life, they didn't mean anything anymore. And I lost the passion to want to breathe fresh air and want to live. I lost the passion to want. And that's a really lonely, dark place. And especially when you're around people who have no education on the matter and don't understand mental health, and they think you're just an attention seeker, or you're looking for some type of pity or whatever. So I was in that car that day, and that was the day I made up my mind that I thought about it before. It was well planned that I was going to smash into this bridge on the motorway. And I thought to myself, right, this is it. And I put the foot down to the floor, and I was heading towards the bridge, and I didn't get far away from it before I heard this voice say to me, don't do this. Think about your kids and your family. You're going to destroy so many lives.
Wow.
And at this time, I was in such a mode where I was about to do it. It was the time I was going to die. And as I pulled out last minute and I drove past it, and I pulled over immediately, and that was the first time I realised I couldn't survive like this anymore, and I couldn't put myself through this mental torture anymore. And that was the first time I went and got medical advice and so seeked help from a doctor. And it was the best thing I ever did. But at that time, I didn't think it was going to be for me, because I thought, this guy is going to go and tell all his mates that I'm a weak person. It's going to be in the press, blah, 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 and it's not going to be good for me. But when I went there, and I finally realised that in order to get well again, I must admit to myself that I'm ill and I need help. And I wish to God I'd done it years before, because I'd have been recovered a long time before.
Where
That's amazing.
where are you now?
I'm absolutely fantastic right now, and since I had that mental breakdown, and since I ended up in hospital, believe it or not, I didn't think I was ever going to recover. I lost everything that I trained for all my life and put on 10 stone, and I was addicted to alcohol and drugs, and I wasn't proud of myself. I was in a very shameful place for me as a person. But what I didn't understand at that time was how badly I was suffering with mental health. And looking back at it now, I'm not embarrassed of what I was back then.
Yes.
Because now people can see a different person who's mentally well and in a great place and has got a real lust for life.
You told so eloquently your story of the dark places there that you got to. Sport, fitness, training obviously helps you a lot. What do you say to, and specifically the young men who admire and adore you so much, and so many of them would be struggling in some way or another? What do you say to them?
I say to them, as soon as you seek medical advice, the sooner you can return to normal life, whatever that may be for you as an individual. And, you know, like I said just before about not recovering until I got help and until I admitted to myself that I needed help. But sometimes there's a thing where we don't believe there's helps out there. I can't speak to anybody. No one understands me, but trust me, there's so many people out there going through the same stuff on a daily basis, and help is out there. There's a lot of support groups and things to help and whatever. So, yeah, there will be sunshiny days. Again, it doesn't have to be gloom and doom all the time, and you will recover like I did. I was in such a dark place, and now I'm so happy in my life. And I believe having a structured routine has helped me a lot. I believe that training out, working out and giving myself short-term goals, that really helps. And I don't mean big extravagant goals. When I talk about short-term goals, I mean like making a weight target that I need to lose a few pounds, or I need to do a couple of runs this week, or whatever I'm going to do. And when I achieve that, it makes me feel good. So I think short-term goals and a routine. Give yourself a routine.
Well, it's you have got a routine now, because you're going to be thinking about fighting Wilder again. You won the last one, but you have to prove you can, and so is that February?
That's February 22nd. Now,
and you feel good about this?
I feel good, you know. I'm not really thinking about the fight right now, because I've got like the end of November coming up, and I've got Christmas, and I'm going to enjoy that, because a lot of the time in my life I've always looked past everything that's happening, and I'm always looking for more. Where now this second part of my life, I'm enjoying things as they happen more. And I'm not looking forward to the future as much. Yeah. So I'll get through November and December, hopefully, and then we'll go into training camp for the Wilder rematch. But I feel really confident about the rematch. I feel I'm match fit now. I've had 5 comeback fights since I've returned, and I'm really happy. And I think a happy fighter is a dangerous one. And Deontay Wilder didn't have an easy time last time.
No, he didn't.
So he will have an even harder time this time, I suppose.
It's so lovely to have you.
It really is. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me and listening to my words.
No, not at all. And the full story is right in there. Thank you, Tyson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.